it meant anything goes. Anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could fall in love, anyone could die, anyone could die.
Age of Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
Age of Apocalypse.
Concept was so cool.
People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it. People couldn't believe it. They had to believe it.
Everything that you hit on the no level. Out the window. Everything that you hit on the no level. Out the window. Everything that you hit on the no level. Out the window.
I'm Jeremy Greer.
And I'm Gary Butterfield.
And this is Days of Future Cast, the podcast where Gary and I are going through Age of Apocalypse issue by terrible issue. This series is it's so hit and miss for me, Gary. It really is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like what is happening to me now that we're kind of in the middle of this, I am just losing the plot on individual books altogether. Like in this session, we're going to cover Generation Next number 3, and I read the first 10 pages of that having no idea what was going on. It took a while.
It's difficult. It's a difficult week. I was really excited about this week after last week, but I think this teaching us that the threes are not super good.
No.
In this section. And Age of Apocalypse is the kind of thing where it's like I still have a lot of affection for it. I like it. I'm not turning on it. I am still having fun reading these, but it is really a squint your eyes and look at the big picture kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of fun that they were this bold and decided to do something that's kind of creative with a industry that has, they want you to buy a monthly book and they want you to get what you get in that monthly book. And that's really about it. So especially at this time where they were really struggling to do sales and everything, like just to say, we're going to throw all of that out the window and like do this huge crossover event is really interesting. But unfortunately, it was 1995, and everything that came with that. So,
yeah, the sad truth that 90s comics are not good.
Yeah,
are coming through. Like it's good in a way of like just kind of like, oh, this is cool, and that is a simple carbohydrate. Like that lasts the time, right? Like I think we were both real high on that initially, and then like I'm still again to clarify, I'm still enjoying myself in a general sense. I'm just eager to put it behind me. And I think that's because it's really long.
Yeah.
More than anything. Like it feels like this week should have been like the finale.
Yes.
And actually come to a head. But we got, the issue 3s, which are all wheel spinning. And then we have what we're covering today, X Universe, which is, answers a question that you would ask, which is like, what happened to everybody else? Like there's a whole Marvel universe. Apocalypse takes over. People are going to be doing things. And it turns out they all banded together to suck. Everyone decided to get together and just totally suck. Like there are a couple things I think are interesting about this issue. Two things. And we'll get to them. And they're pretty deep in the issue. And then that's it.
Okay.
And I was looking forward to this. I was really excited. But I had lost my mind and was very wrong. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to be better.
It's very strange that like that question, like the answer to what happened in the rest of the Marvel universe is so compressed to like one story.
2 issues.
Yeah. Well, and just like
and
one story.
Not a full 4. Yeah. 1 story, 2 issues. Like it's barely anything.
Yeah.
And just like, it's so weird that they like everyone managed to hang out and be friends regardless. I just find that very artificial and weird. And this is full of like little winks, like part of the joy of Age of Apocalypse. And it's a really simple joy. It's not something that like I feel good about liking, but it's like, see what they did with this person, And it's the same thing. Like I reread some Ultimate comics just for comfort recently in COVID times. And that's part of the joy. It's like, oh, they're introducing like their take on this person. And it's a way to reimagine the character. This book is, full of that with tons of little winks, like it's constantly like, Bruce, don't wave that banner around. There's a hulking ship off the shore. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is so dumb. And it's absolutely chock full of that shit. And it's, we're in the Scott Lobdell whole, like the dialogue is somebody else, but this is Scott Lobdell's, baby in terms of the story, and that means like nothing happens, and it begins with like, the world was once beautiful, blah blah.
Yep.
And just kind of so kind of horse shit. But we'll get through it. We only have one more of these. We only got like a couple more weeks of this this thing going anyway.
2.5 weeks is what I count.
2.5
after. Oh, I guess.
Man.
Yeah.
You know what sucks is if it's 2.5 weeks, those X-Men Chronicles are 2 issues.
Yeah, we're gonna need to fill it out.
3 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, that'll make it even 3 weeks. So we'll have to cover those. Those are Howard Mackie comics, which makes Scott Lobdell look like fucking Shakespeare. Yeah.
So yeah,
but let's talk about X Universe.
The cover is like kind of generic ass Marvel covers. Like we've got what is very obviously Grey Hulk in the front running towards the cover. Apocalypse is screaming in the background. Other people from Marvel, I guess. Like I don't know. That could be Nick Fury with the scar, but without the eye patch. Who knows? Just generic looking dudes and like a. And we're going to find out, like, the people on the right-hand side are Ben Grimm and Susan Storm, but, like, they just look so completely generic here. Like,
it looks like Dazzler.
It looks exactly like Dazzler, yeah.
It's like Doc Samson and Dazzler.
Sure.
And then it's Doctor Doom in the front of it, but it's, you're right, it could be like a Nick Fury, like this universe Nick Fury. In the background, we've got Iron Man, but he looks like M-Plate or something. Like he looks like Iron Lung, not Iron Man. Very sick.
That's the difference in Xavier dying. Instead of a bad heart, he has a bad lung.
Yeah. So let's get into it. In the beginning of this really puts its worst foot forward, man. Like the first couple pages of this are absolute horseshit. Like this is and it is 2020 brain, right? That like this. So it opens with Gwen Stacy in the ruins of Wakanda, just comforting Ethiopian, small children of color who are all starving to death. And this looks like a fucking UNICEF ad.
Oh, dude!
And there's dialect for the pathetic starving little black kid in this, and this is so white saviory and gross that like I don't know. It's very disgusting. This is a really rough opening.
The art here doesn't do a really great job of depicting what are absolutely human beings as human beings either, which is super fucking gross. Like they really exaggerate some features to make this look like something different than white folk, and it's easily the grossest thing we've seen throughout this entire like revisit of these older comics.
Yeah, it's real nasty.
Yeah.
So Gwen Stacy, is talking about this aid that's coming to the ruins of Wakanda, and just it's very just like doom and gloom.
Yes,
like the little kids like she no hungry no more, but Messon's been gone so long. And I'm like, the fuck this?
What is
really really hard?
Yeah.
It fucking gross. And then of course they get attacked because everybody finds themselves or finds each other like in the Age of Apocalypse. It's comforting to know that like if the Age of Apocalypse happened, Duckfeed would still happen somehow. It'd just be different. Like we definitely all still meet because of course we would. We'd just be different.
Yeah. Me and you would be doing a long form podcast about Final Fantasy, right?
Yeah. It would be like one of us would be missing an eye, but we would definitely still be friends because because in this world, the people who strike, who are called Marauders, are fucking Green Goblin, Kingpin, Arcade, and the Owl, dressed up like fucking bad guys from The Running Man or something.
I don't like this. The Kingpin, especially with his weird with thong suspenders, where he's holding his like man gunt up. I don't know. Like I'm shirtless.
You don't do
but what?
Fucking reverse suspenders, man. Like if you take you can take suspenders down and put them under your legs to hold up your gun. But like I've never seen it before.
It's a powerful move. It's a powerful move. Like what are you doing to prevent chafing down there, William?
It looks so painful. Dirigible. Your new code name, Dirigible.
Dirigible. And let's not forget that somehow in this universe, Norman Osborn has dreadlocks now. So that's really cool.
He has kind of cornrow dreadlocks. The idea of like all of these people just finding each other to do general crapulence is so dumb. Like I don't really understand what them getting together is.
They specifically the comic says they specifically bought their way into service. So they're apparently they are paying Apocalypse in order to do this.
Apocalypse, how much money for you to call me dirigible?
They're Apocalypse's pay pigs, Gary.
Yeah, dude, this is like, especially Fisk, man. He's like got big pay pig energy here. This is so dumb. And they have like floaty boots or something.
Air steppers,
which sounds like a sneaker line. Like this is so bad. And they all shoot beams out of their hands. And the characterization is not there. Like Wilson Fisk is like barrels wide open rotters. Like instead of marauders. Like that's not an abbreviation, my man. And like Wilson Fisk is a sophisticated crime syndicate guy.
They have
why is he dirigible with his straps?
The thing that they're shooting from their wrist is literally called a wrist armory.
Wrist armory. Like this is the beginning of this is so bad.
Yeah.
This is one of the worst like comics.
Gwen Stacy like aims this what looks like a very complicated weapon or something to at Wilson Fisk, and it like blasts the dude and blasts her like way back too. And I guess there's something here where Arcade is like, well, those things take a long time to reload, so I'm gonna kill you. And that's when her horny friend, the mechanical spider, shows up.
Yeah. Then a gigantic mechanical spider shows up, which of course you're thinking. Like Spider-Man or something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Because there's really, I don't know if there's actually an explanation for why this would be spider shaped in this world, but they have a spider bot that's showing up that's dumping aid tubes, like Red Cross tubes, onto starving Wakanda and saving them. And this is Stark. Yes. This is the Iron Man has decided to go for a spider theme in this universe. And yeah, it's him and Clint Barton, him and Hawkeye. It's shooting down the rotters.
The reason they went spider themed is so that they could write this dialogue for Gwen Stacy, or not dialogue, but this narration about Gwen Stacy, which is something about this mechanical behemoth, the webbed carapace, the spider mandible, still prompts a pang somewhere she can't place, a bittersweet taste on the dip of her tongue of something long lost. She's getting horny about the spider robot, dude, because she's in Spider Comics. That's all this is.
That's all it is. Yeah. The end of this reveals that Spider-Man died off panel before the crossover ever began too. So like, presumably, she didn't have a whole lot of time to get used to the spider, given those the 70s and such. But yeah, this is so fucking dumb. Absolutely ridiculous. And Hawkeye has an Avengers patch. So at some point there were Avengers, but now they're just whatever they are.
I just zipped ahead so I could read that thing about Peter Parker because I couldn't remember what it said. And it's a picture of his grave next to aunt and uncle, and it just says beloved nephew. So that's how far he got in life. He's not a beloved son, Gary. He's a beloved like step cousin.
Yeah. He didn't have his own identity. He's entirely defined by his relationship to Aunt May. We meet in Generation Next in this thing, I think.
Yeah, so fucking weird. Yeah. They do drop these aid tubes directly on top of Arcade's
onto
mission.
Arcade. Like what a metaphor. They smash him with like food and medicine.
Yeah.
What lights out, motherfuckers. Here's your aid.
See you later.
I love this. The idea of this, the militant wing of the Salvation Army. From Austin Powers, like it's just they're going through and just providing aid with extreme prejudice.
And then they straight up like use spider guns to murder the other two that are left, Owl and Osborn, Red, as I like to be called by my villain name.
Yeah. Why you have to be dirigible?
Dirigible. You can't even spell that, my friends. Come on.
What's up, dirigible? Like. Keep your head on a swivel, Ridgeable. There might be muties anywhere. Get the fuck. Did I ever tell you that my friend Derek, when I don't know why this made me laugh so much, and it's probably gonna not land as well. But when we were like in teenagers, we used to like write notes, like in study hall.
Yeah.
Just to talk. It's like basically like instant messenger, right? Like we'd pass a piece of paper back and forth.
Gary, I'm 42. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not Cole. You don't have to explain this shit to me.
One time out of nowhere, he sent me a thing that was like, what would have been a good name for the X-Men? And then I sent him a thing back and I was like, what? He goes, the Janetta dudes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Like I was like, a big laugh out of me, like in the middle of study hall. The Janetta dudes. Yeah. So Stark, Iron Man, has to be hooked up to the machine. He's got like tubes all over him. Mm-hmm. And he gets out to say this. Gwen Stacy's like, oh, you might be a imposter or whatever.
Because it's not their usual
comes,
contact is the problem.
Yeah. And out comes Donald Blake. Donald Blake was who Thor was back in the day. I've never read any of those Thor comics. I think Thor is just Thor now. But he used to swap places with a doctor named Donald Blake.
The before we get too far past this, the shot of all of the poor black kids like trying to get their aid off of the corpse of Arcade is it's so bad. I have to, you have to laugh at this. This is terrible. With the spider robot in the background, like what the fuck is this comic book, dude?
Comics are high art.
It's so weird.
No, they're not. It's actually about like real themes like starvation and world peace. No, this is just absolute harangulon. Like this is amazing shit.
Yeah.
I love it so much. And by love it I mean I absolutely fucking despise it.
Yeah.
So Donald Blake shows up. He knows Stacy, they talk about how he's an inspiration, how he's the true miracle because all the white people showed up to save Wakanda. And gives Tony a big hug, and they're basically all going back to England is the idea.
I know this is just my fandom, my touch of fandom that I have nowadays, but like when he hugs Tony Stark and he's like, some things can't wait. I was like, are they dating? Is this, are they dating now? Is that what's happening? And Xavier dies and both of these guys get together? Because I'm with it. Don't get me wrong. 100% with it. But
the Xavier dying sent the bi-wave through the cosmos.
That's the only good thing about the Age of Apocalypse is that everybody is bi. That's the only good thing.
I don't understand. I don't feel like Donald Blake and Tony Stark are particularly like great friends either.
God.
Like why these two?
I have no idea, dude.
I can't remember what happens to Steve Rogers.
Was he in the back of this book too? I don't remember.
I don't think so. He might show up in the second issue of this as like a surprise or some shit. I can't remember, but like that would make sense for Tony. But Donald Blake, like I understand he's part of the Avengers and everything, but it's very weird to see him and have him be important. Iron Man in this world can make an artificial heart that pumps for him, but cannot make an Iron Man suit. He can make a gigantic spider, but is not an Iron Man.
Yes.
So like there's some kind of talk about whether his heart, his heart problems that he has. Which, as a reminder, he has a heart problem not because of like a congenital thing, but because a piece of metal is slowly moving towards his heart from shrapnel.
Yeah.
So all that stuff still happens.
That's what the tubes
apparently.
are for.
He just that's what the tubes are for. They're suck tubes. They suck the metal out of his heart.
Ooh, suck tubes.
Yeah. So in the future they have suck tubes.
Ooh.
And everyone's bi. So cut to Big Ben on the ground.
Sure. Cut to Big Ben. Something you've never seen in a script ever.
A Big Ben wipe. Yeah. A mutant armada is showing up in England.
Yes.
Where the human High Council is. And I don't really I understand what's happening by the end of this. Mm-hmm. Initially, I do not understand it.
Yeah, I was extremely confused by a lot of this. But I mean, ostensibly, this is the treaty that we've been hearing so much about in the main books, right? Like they're here to work on this treaty, which is definitely not a side chick from Apocalypse, like right? It's not a side piece or anything.
It is so baldly evil.
Yeah,
like him just kind of saying like, well, what if here's our plan, Apocalypse. What if we show up to the humans and say like, hey, we want to do a treaty, and then we just kill them? Like that's basically what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And this is according to the plan. Like I'm sure they're going to get stopped and Ben Grimm is going to punch out fucking Mikhail Rasputin and I'm going to be irritated about it. Yep. But and probably be like, it's clamoring time or something like that.
It's cobbling time. I'm a shoe guy now.
I like it's cobbling time a lot. Or a baker.
Yeah, either one. It's sweet potato cobbler time, Sue.
I love cobbler in time. So this is extremely dumb. I don't know why the humans would let in an entire armada of Apocalypse's forces for this diplomatic mission.
Why is this not on like any number of burnt out husk of cities? Like what? Like pick a neutral ground. Why are we going to the humans like place to live?
Fucking Skype.
Or fucking Skype, dog. Get a Zoom background, you motherfuckers.
The Zoom background is just a burnt out Big Ben.
Oh shit. So I guess we should note that like Ben Grimm is not the Thing, right? Like they don't go into space.
Yeah.
She's not an invisible lady, although she says that she's really
she
specializes
does
in invisible infiltration.
Invisible ops.
Yeah.
Yeah. She and he at some point goes, "What is that thing?" in big font. Like they're winking at us.
Oh man,
real hard.
The winking is so bad.
Can we talk about the spaceship biplane?
Okay,
they're flying.
Yeah, I don't. What
so
is this?
Sue Storm and Ben, and they're basically saying like, "Oh, we don't trust this." They talk about how Reed Richard died, and her baby brother Johnny got burnt up because irony. They don't trust this, but they're flying this like it's a little jet fighter, but it has biplane wings. Yeah. Like this isn't supposed to be like Fallout where technology stopped or anything. Like, why is this like a 40s plane?
I have no idea what's happening. Like, why is William Fisk called a dirigible? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No. Like, blimp was too insulting and dirigible is too awkward, but they had to hurry up and destroy Wakanda some more.
You got to check in and subsequently destroy Wakanda.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. So we're going to check in with Prelate Rasputin, who brought everybody's favorite neighborhood superhero along with him, Matt Murdock.
Yes,
who doesn't really get to do a lot in this, but he is blind. He's got like a techno band over his eyes, and he's carrying a baton around. He's got some kind of okay looking red armor for this. Like this looks pretty fine,
surprisingly.
And go ahead.
So yeah, he's part of so certain humans got augmented to be apocalypse servants.
Yes, is
the idea. So it's probably similarly one of the Rotters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Mikhail, for people who don't know, because he's a pretty obscure X-Men villain, is Colossus's brother. And I've never read like a coherent comic with him in it, and I've never really been clear on what his deal is.
Yeah, me either.
Like, do you have a good beat on Mikhail?
Not at all.
Yeah.
This is the most I've ever read of Mikhail, and so I'm sure all of my opinions are just dead wrong.
This is the kind of like they never made an action figure of Mikhail. Like even in the 90s when they had those Toy Biz and like every X-Man, like Kane, got a action figure, and GW Bridge got an action figure. Mikhail never had one. Like this is extremely obscure, but he's one of the Horsemen. So in a way, like this isn't one of the things I like about the book. But I'm glad that we get to see what he's doing because we've only accounted for 3 Horsemen. Let's see what the fourth one's doing.
Let's see what's up with that guy.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna save you like some tweets and say that they absolutely made some Mikhail Rasputin stuff, but it was all HeroClix stuff. It looks like.
Oh, HeroClix, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't count. That's Magic the Gathering for people who are too nerdy for Magic the Gathering.
I don't trust these magic powers. You're gonna need to put this in something that I have a reference to.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fight Batman versus Wolverine if you want me to pay attention.
Man, this HeroClix guy, I'm just gonna copy and paste this in here for you. This doesn't look good at all. Like I've never collected any of this HeroClix bullshit, but like this just looks not great.
Oh, that's rough stuff. They're really tiny.
Mm-hmm.
I played HeroClix for a little bit. It's really annoying because all those little things have little symbols on them, so you have to and there are tons of them. There's like 24 symbols, so you constantly have to be referencing a book.
Oh Lord!
To use them, like it's just a little tactics game, and it would be fun. Like it would be like just like Warhammer or something, but there's not enough information on the individual unit. They make them work. I tried to play them. Me and my friends got into like collecting them for like a minute when I was in my early 20s.
I'm on a site called Pie Cookie that has a Mikhail Rasputin Instagram post tag, and it's just all of the Mikhail Rasputin content that you could ever want, bro. Like it's all right there.
Wow.
Just gonna I'll just send that to you, but I mean, like, just in case you want to browse through this later, man, there's some content in here.
I certainly do. I'm gonna spend a lot of time with Mikhail Rasputin. It's really hard.
Mikhail Rasputin has not appeared in any cartoons and has not portrayed by any actors. Great, super good.
Yeah, like it's in like 4 years Mikhail will be the villain of the next reboot. Of Marvel shit.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, he gave Daredevil sight and made him his like servant. He's saying like, hey, all the humans are here. They have all these nuclear warheads. This is a volatile situation. And Rasputin basically just says like, hey, their navigation systems have been sabotaged from within. which is in the next comic. We'll learn about that apparently. And we're going to take him out. Like nothing really happens. He just kind of says, well, it sucks they have all these nukes, but we're just going to win because we have the boy.
Yeah.
And they keep referencing the boy.
Yes. Matt Murdock is worried that they're going to burn out the boy, which of course Mikhail says is unacceptable. We're going to continue to use them. We haven't really talked about the art in this. I think the art is actually really good in some parts.
Yeah,
like this,
Carlos Pacheco.
Yeah,
is the artist, and this is good.
But I mean, the parts where it falls down for me are just the spider monster and literally portraying black people as biologically different than white people. It was pretty bad, but I feel
it's specifically what they're doing is evoking like the starving children in Africa ad that was on all the time. Where like when you're starving in your stomach, like your bones emaciate and your stomach gets bigger and stuff. I remember that being all over the TV.
Oh yeah,
in the 90s. I think that's probably their reference.
Yeah, which
is horrible. Like just to make that like all of your Wakandans. I'm not defending it, but it's not like I don't think they were like let's come up with a cool new mutation for black people. I think it was.
Oh no, I think
just drawing UNICEF ads.
I think they were trying to reference that, and they missed it by a wide mark, so that it makes that that's what it puts in my head. So
I would agree. Yeah, big miss.
We go back over to Sue and Ben, who are on the ground now. Is that correct? Are they still flying? What is happening?
They land on this page. This page is pretty hard to follow. And it's a little bit difficult to see exactly what they're doing here other than just keeping an eye on shit, and when they land they are landing, they're not on the ground. They're landing. Other people are on the ground. And the people who are I see now the other people on the ground tell them to abort the landing because there's a big explosion.
Yeah.
And then they land. They put on tech goggles.
You gotta.
This is where she does invisible grade infiltration.
Love it.
At this command site that blew up. It's been sabotaged somehow. And what did it get sabotaged with? Gamma beams, apparently, because here comes the Hulk.
Yep. We get a sweet Aunt Petunia. And this is Grey Hulk, which we know from the comic books as being horny Hulk. I'm kidding. This is just the smart Hulk.
We know it from the cartoon.
Yes.
We did that.
That was weird. That was super weird times, Gary. Weird times.
Yeah. I've watched the entire Hulk animated series. What the fuck? I didn't know that.
Damn, She-Hulk, man. Can you calm down?
Yeah. So he's there and he's intelligent. Talks about he pities the humans. He's very powerful. They shoot him. Nothing happens, of course. He says he's not a mutant. They think he's a mutant invader.
Yes.
But he's the fucking Hulk, and Sue Storm gets on his back and shoots off his ear.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He didn't get the same number of gamma rays, so he's he's not quite as invulnerable anymore. He's 87% vulnerable.
Less Hulk.
Yeah.
Now with 90% less Hulk. Shoots off his ear. And this causes him to run away. At this point. They go deeper into this complex that got blown up. And they find Dr. Banner, who they're trying to rescue, who is missing the same ear and is freaking out.
And they don't seem to pick up on this at all. They're just like, oh, hey, what's up? What's going on?
They don't pick up with it at all. They're like Ben Grimm literally says, like, go slow, Susie. Listen to Banner's voice. Look at that head wound. He's in shock.
When Susie blows the dude's ear off, by the way, he tosses her over, and Ben runs over, is like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm fine. These corpses cushioned my impact."
I forgot about that. Yeah, don't move. Lucky me. They cushioned my impact, and then she's on a big pile of New Londo corpses.
It's fucking great, dude. Fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
So we're going. We go back over to Mikhail, where he is meeting Dr. Doom, who has the aforementioned scar on his face. And what I thought was very strange is that there's this crowd of people shouting in ecstasy, "Mikhail, Mikhail, Mikhail!" Like they are super excited that this dude is here. And Dr. Doom is being kind of anti Dr. Doom by just I'm so sorry that this is running late. The honor of this moment must be mine alone. He's not doing his usual arrogant Doom stuff.
He's being diplomatic. And Mikhail basically gives a speech about how he's not here, to murder Apocalypse does. He's here for unity. He wants to cause peace. Everyone's going nuts. They explain this later. It's not just everyone's got Mikhail fever like he's the fucking Beatles. the apocalypse invasion with the 4 horsemen going around doing a Hard Day's Night shit.
For our younger listeners, he means Justin Bieber.
Yeah, the Justin Biebles. The humans who are here are like, the crowd is hanging on his every word. This is weird. I feel like these guys are all idiots and would assume that the mutants use some kind of mutant power.
Right? Like
to make all the humans just be like, oh, this is the guy who keeps nuking us. Yes, Unity, Mikhail. I love this guy. It's fucking weird.
It's so fucking weird, dude. It's so fucking bizarre. That these guys just don't pick up on it. Like, it takes them a while.
They get on the fucking ship.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, he's like, I'll give you guys a tour of my ship to prove I have nothing to hide. And all the people are just like, okay. Like, this seems weird, but I don't know, when in Rome. And then just walk into the fucking ship. Extremely dumb. Yeah. So they get on the ship. As the door closes on the ship, everybody loses it. They're trying to get on the ship to follow them in. They make a big like tower of people. They climb up a statue and like they all fall to their deaths.
Yeah, because the statue
in
breaks.
just one little panel.
Mm-hmm.
The statue breaks for them to all fall and get collapsed upon. And they they're all upset, and they even say like, Ben Grimm is like, oh, it feels like we're walking into the lion's den and throwing away the key. And Mikhail immediately just confirms like, everything you think about me is true.
Yes.
I'm a horrible monster.
I'm a horrible monster. I'm an evil villain. There is no treaty. Like, let's go. Don't want you to be in suspense.
Yep. And that's basically it. They pull a gun on him here, which is like, I don't know what you keep thinking your guns are going to do for this thing. And this is where he reveals why the crowd is so into him. It's because they have empath hooked up to a crucifix of wires to shoot chiracules onto the audience to make them love Mikhail. And he's nude and he's really ripped.
But he's tucking, Gary. I mean, he's nude, but he's tucking.
Yep,
so.
he's super tucking.
You think it's because Empath just has an enormous dick, and they're like, we can't have that dude. Like, we're flying around, we can't have that dude flapping around. Like,
flopping around.
We're gonna have to strap it to your thigh.
At least belt it down, and we can't give him dignity. So
someone call Wilson Fisk Taylor. see if he can get some dick suspenders,
some more crotch straps from the Fisk account. And then that's the end of it. Is we have the humans stuck on the ship with Mikhail, presumably to win, but I don't know how that's going to happen. It's a whole thing.
And then we have a page where we catch up on some human high council people, a membership poster. So we find out T'Challa, the Black Panther, was just almost immediately killed by Apocalypse as he took over Wakanda. Frank Castle is missing in action.
He went and joined a convent,
sure,
to get peace, and then the apocalypse came and destroyed the convent.
Peter Parker was straight up executed. Just beloved.
He literally gets like 9 words.
Yeah.
For Spider-Man. So fuck you, kids.
Reed
Namor is dead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Or I was just gonna say Namor got killed. He's still a legend to Atlantis, but they had to be like, why don't the Atlanteans fight?
Mm-hmm.
And then Reed Richards is also dead.
Yes.
There.
And then there's a map. There's a tactical map that explains, I guess, stuff. Like there's all these weird like lines of influence and whatever. And I just look at this and my eyes just like roll back into my head, dude. I have no patience for this shit right now.
I like that it's like on a Pip-Boy.
Yeah.
That's like the only thing I like about it.
I like that it's very obviously a touchscreen and it says press any key to continue.
Like where are the keys on this thing, man? It does not look like there would be any keys.
No.
But it's a Pip-Boy, and we'll find out what happens next time. And honestly, I don't care that much. I remember this being good, and I was wrong. Cool.
This is not great. I guess it was like some of this stuff, like as always, if it's super bad, you get a lot of entertainment value out of it. So I guess I will compliment it on the fact that it only winked at me like 10 times in 20 pages, so that's pretty good.
It's really gross, man. Like it is way too much. Like the winking is gross. Like it's got Dark Souls 3 stink to it in terms of that. Nothing really happens.
Yeah.
Everyone's plans are stupid. It is really like other than the art, this is pretty much a complete mess.
Yes.
So, if you like this show, head on over to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv and give us some money.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of bucks to us get you all kinds of cool benefits. You get access to the Slack channel. You can get episodes of this podcast and others early. And you get just what is a massive, like, dragon horde pile of exclusive content that Gary and Cole have built up over the years. Tons and tons of stuff to get into it. So go check all of that out. We appreciate it. Rating reviews also help. Tell your friends about the podcast. We'll be back in a couple of days with Weapon X3.